I'd like to start this one by saying something quite true and human, not political, in fact. I'd like to say that I don't often get out. Now, you might wonder why a guy like me doesn't get out. You might think that I'm, I don't know, just lazy and don't want to go out and just want to slobber around all day like that. But no, I don't go out for a number of reasons. And one is that I actually think I am actually quite social phobic. I don't particularly like being around large groups of people. I don't particularly enjoy being in crowds and being just in busy supermarkets or whatever. But I did get out today, and I was with my wife. And I want to just tell you something from a few minutes out around the streets of Gorleston, Great Yarmouth. First, I want to talk about a person whom we met. I won't mention her name, but she was a lovely person. My wife and Great Yarmouth attend, the people are part of a society where there is an allotment. And suffice to say, we got just to talking generally with her about things like the allotment and how her plants were getting on and how things were growing and, you know, what the weather was like and how things were at the allotment. How the allotment have got together to try and help each other, and they've even built a toilet up there now, I'm told. Wow. And the Allotment Association have built a toilet. So naturally I said, I trust people will, shall we say, leave it as they found it. She said, well, actually, there's a couple of people on the committee and they tend to end up making sure the toilet is clean and tidy. Well, good for them. Good luck to them. The amount of allotment veg and whatever that I eat is amazing. And I'm not a vegetarian, but my wife is. So great, right? Good news talking to the people on the streets. Yep. Another place I went was the butcher's with my wife. Just to buy some meat. I admit I'm a failed vegetarian. I'm terribly sorry about that. I'm an absolute failed vegetarian, but just chatting with the butcher and his staff and whatever, and talking about whether we say scone or scone, or whether in Norfolk we say who's electrical or Hughes electrical. Just passing time, but having fun. Let me just make one, I guess now, thing that I want to say about the election. I'll just use a few seconds to say this about the election. It's very difficult to describe, I suppose, who ordinary people are. Yeah, everyone likes to say, well, you know, Jeremy Corbyn is for the ordinary people. I believe he is, quite honestly. But, you know, rather than talking to that lady about her allotment and speaking with the local butcher, I guess I could have found somebody on another ordinary doorstep. And by the way, I was not political canvassing, and spoken with them about the weather and the things that concern them and just what was going on locally. And it struck me that meeting these people, okay, we're not a big city, yeah, we're just a little seaside town, and I actually quite like this little seaside town. I'm actually very proud of this little seaside town. I want to see it prosper, and more than anything, I want to see its citizens looked after, done right by, helped, not stamped upon by some corporate jackboot. I want to see the survival of our local shops. I want to see present shops that are obviously out of business now reopen. I don't walk out very often, but I'd like to go down the high street and say hi to people in shops, and they go, oh yeah, Tony, I remember you, you bought your meat from me last week, and your wife comes in and she always buys the meat here. And by the way, I've just enjoyed a fantastic pork roll, so if I look a bit well fed, that's why. Ordinary people or not, what I want to say to you is that I know, as well as anyone else knows, these people work damn hard to make a living. I don't know how many pork baguettes the butcher would have had to sell. I don't know when we went into the local card shop and spoke to the retired gentleman and his wife there, how many Yankee candles and cards they would have needed to sell to make a profit. But I do know this. I do know that Labour will help those people. I do know that Labour will help them with their businesses, will create a situation whereby it is more likely that their businesses will succeed and they will trade with more and more people and there'll be a success. Now, of course, I want that to happen. I want ordinary people to do well. I want them to do well under Labour. So, what I'm saying to you is, if you happen to be one of these small business people, even locally, if you happen to be just one of these ordinary people walking about in Great Yarmouth or in Gorleston or somewhere like that, what I'm trying to say to you is that by voting Labour, you get a society for us all. Not just the tiny minority, not just the powerful few. You get a society that wants to help and include everyone. So please think about that when you vote, particularly if you're voting in Great Yarmouth, and if you're voting in Gorleston, which is my ward. Please think about why you, the people of these places, should vote Labour.